नमस्ते प्रणाम गीता ध्यानम। ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 13th Adhyay of Kshetradnya Vibhag Yoga. And Sri Krishna is, now he has started explaining to us the relation between the Kshetra and the Kshetradnya. How this Kshetra comes itself as Prakriti, and Prakriti is the cause of this body, this field. Purusha ever remains as the Kshetradnya. And this Purusha and Prakriti, they are the constituting factors of the Kshetra and the Kshetradnya. And Shri Krishna told us that both Purusha and Prakriti, they are beginningless. In fact, Prakriti for that matter is no way different from Purusha, but just a manifestation of Purusha, just a projection of Purusha. The Purusha who is devoid of any qualities, who is devoid of any attributes as such. He is Nirguna, he is Nirakara. But the moment that Nirguna Nirakara projects as Prakriti, it is no different entity as such, just a projection. That Prakriti bears the qualities of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And the moment that those qualities of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, they are brought forth, automatically all the vikaras in the beings, they start. All the modifications in these fields, they start. Modifications in terms of not just the physical modifications, not just the physical modification of the being born, grown, getting old, decayed, the old age, illnesses and all those things, and finally the death. These are the physical modifications. But even the modifications of our internal faculties, love, hatred, joy, sorrow, all those things are the product of these three gunas. And Sri Krishna says these three gunas and the modifications, they are all the product of Prakriti. And the previous shloka that we read, Sri Krishna clearly told us that Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Ubhavapi, both Purusha and Prakriti, they are beginningless. Anadi. They are known to be Anadi. They have no beginning, they have no end, they are ever existent. And the Vikaransha Gunanschaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. All the modifications in these beings that are happening and the gunas which produce this modification, they are all born of Prakriti Sambhavan. So that was the 19th shloka that we read, and Sri Ramakrishna had given that example of the same ocean, the same Parabrahman, the same Satchidananda, the same Paramatman, when like a calm ocean, calm, serene, peaceful ocean, no activity, just the breeze, breeze, breeze. But the same ocean, when it becomes boisterous and furious, when the tsunami arises out of it, that becomes Prakriti. The ocean is same, but in the form of that violent nature of the ocean, of that super active nature of the ocean, we can feel the difference. Oh, that is something terrible. That is something is happening there. Otherwise, in the plain, calm ocean, we don't see any activity. We just, when we look at that calm sea, we just look at those, the beautiful, calm, serene waves just floating there, bringing such a bliss to our mind as such when we look at it. But the same ocean, the same sea, when it becomes violent, then there is some activity. And Sri Ramakrishna says that the Brahman is also like that. When Brahman is active, we start perceiving that Brahman as the Prakriti. Then we look around us, we see all this diversity, all these different creatures and beings, we see all these loved ones, all the ones that we hate, all the ones that we don't like. Then we start looking at all those modifications which arise of the gunas. And Sri Krishna says these modifications and gunas are born of this boisterous ocean, this Prakriti, this violent ocean. So that was the 19th shloka. And in the 20th shloka, again Sri Krishna is going to tell us this relationship between the Kshetra and the Kshetradnya, how they are interrelated, how they are, interwoven, how their matrix is interwoven within each other. Now Sri Krishna says that kāryakāraNakartutve hetuh prakrutirucyate purushah sukhaduhkhānām bhoktrutve heturucyate. So what is Sri Krishna is saying that kāryakāraNakartutve. Kartutve is the production of what? Production of kāryakārana. Karya is basically the body. It is not just the work as such. Who is doing the work? Who is doing the karma? Who is doing the karya? It is the body. Through body we do the karma. Through all our organs of action and organs of perception, the senses, we perform all the actions. So this body and the karana, the cause behind it, the cause behind it is the senses. The senses make us work. The senses make us get into the activity. So Sri Krishna says this kāryakāraNakartutve, in the production of body and the senses, hetuh prakrutirucyate. The cause of the body and the senses, the cause of production of body and the senses, kāryakāraNakartutve hetuh. The cause is prakrutirucyate. The cause is said to be Prakriti. Prakriti is the reason for the production of the body and the senses. Purusha doesn't create anything. It is all the Prakriti. It is the active part of the Brahman. It is the projected part of the Brahman which creates the body and the senses. So Prakriti is directly related to creation of these Kshetra. And then purushah sukhaduhkhānām bhoktrutve hetuh uccyate. And what is the role of Purusha then in this entire magic, in this entire play? Purusha is said to be the cause of experience of sukhaduhkhānām bhoktrutve. Bhoktrutve is to experience. Purusha wants to experience. What Purusha wants to experience? Sukha, dukkha, the pairs of opposites. Purusha himself, itself beyond the enjoying these experiences, whether good or bad, whether sukha or dukkha, whether pleasure or pain. Purusha is beyond experiencing. Purusha doesn't have any inclination as such. He doesn't have anything to experience the pleasure and pain. He is beyond it. But at the same time, having projected as the Prakriti, Purusha also is the cause of pleasure and pain. Purusha is the cause of these pairs of opposites. Like Prakriti is the cause of the body and the senses. Purusha is the cause of experiencing the pairs of opposites. Those feelings, what all we feel, what all we perceive, it is all the function of the Purusha. Like the other day while talking upon how Atman is related to the intellect, we clearly saw that it is the Atman who makes us feel pleasure and pain. It is the Atman, it is the one dwelling inside. Otherwise the body cannot realize anything, body cannot experience anything of its own unless it has the backing of that Atman. And here also Sri Krishna is saying the same thing in a different manner. He has expressed that it is the Purusha who is the cause of this experience of pairs of opposites, of experience of pleasure and pain. Now, Sri Krishna has clearly defined the roles of Purusha and Prakriti. What is the role of Prakriti? Prakriti is the cause of body and senses. kāryakāraNakartutve hetuh prakrutirucyate. And what is the role of Purusha? Purusha is a cause to experience the pleasure and pain. Sukhaduhkhānām bhoktrutve. So that is the role of Purusha and Prakriti that Sri Krishna has explained in this 20th Shloka to us. It is the production of body and the senses. In the production of body and the senses, Prakriti is said to be the cause. While in the experience of pleasure and pain, in the experience of joy and sorrow, in the experience of happiness and unhappiness, in the experience of all these pairs of opposites, Purusha is said to be the cause. It is the father who transforms himself into son. When father always tries to look upon whatever son does as he is doing. Subsequently, some of the doings of the son delight father, while some other activities pain him. Exactly what happens in our day-to-day life. The father brings forth the mother gives birth to the children, but it is the father who looks after what my son or daughter is doing. Some of their activities, they bring joy to the father. They bring pride to him. But some of the activities, with those activities, father gets disturbed. He gets pained. It is a Purusha that poses to become Prakriti. It is a joint venture of father and mother to produce the children. Modifications of Prakriti are known as body and senses. That is how Prakriti works. The moment the creation is created, the moment Prakriti is projected from Brahman, from Purusha, the body and senses, they start getting created, they start getting produced. The senses in their turn get themselves classified as the senses of perception and the senses of action. The Jnanendriya and the Karmendriya, these are the 10 senses we have got. And all our activities are through them. The Jnanendriyas, they incite the feeling of activity. They induce us that feeling of activity in us, and the Karmendriya, the organs of action, they make things happen. The way the senses have ordered them, the way the Jnanendriyas have ordered them. See, this is how the Prakriti works through the body and senses. Both forms of the senses are serviceable to the Jivatman. And now, why they are working? Why these 5 Jnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas? They are working to satisfy the indweller. Actually, that is the reason. But what happens? In the process, Mahamaya starts creating all the problems. The Jivatman inside wants this body and the senses wants the Jnanendriyas and the Karmendriyas to walk on the path of knowledge, devotion, and reach the ultimate goal. But all our journey gets hindered by the obstacles on the way, and these obstacles are created by Mahamaya. The relationship, both forms of the senses are serviceable to the Jivatman to have contact and communion with the Prakriti. That is the basic reason for the Lord, for the Purusha, to project this Prakriti, and then Prakriti to produce the body and senses, and then get into all those activities around. That is the actual reason for that. The relationship created in this way begets pleasure and pain. The moment the Mahamaya enters on the scene, enters on the stage, the activity of pleasure and pain starts. We don't know what is right, what is wrong. While thinking that is right, we start doing wrong, and we land up into pain. We land up into sorrow. We land up in shedding tears. Whereas our objective, in fact, is to enjoy that ultimate bliss. And then these pairs of opposite, they start attacking us. The experience of pleasure and pain is the foremost factor in molding the character of the Jivatman and in educating the Jivatman for the life of supermundane. This Jivatman is the ultimate experiencer of whatever we are doing. The Jivatman who is dwelling inside is the ultimate experiencer. And through all the experiences that we keep on getting, the Jivatman kind of tries to modify our path. Don't do this. Then the power of discrimination, what is right, what is wrong, the Satsat Viveka Buddhi, then it comes into effect. That is the primary objective. That is the primary purpose for the Purusha to project the Prakriti, and Prakriti to project the body and senses, and body and senses getting into activity through the 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas. Complex creation, isn't it? Prakriti is the foster mother, leading the Jivatman from unreal to the real. Prakriti keeps on showing all these good and bad experiences, all these pleasurable and painful experiences, and those who get and who understand the real purpose of this journey, they try to be away from the painful, the things which create those painful experiences. Now this is how Prakriti works as the foster mother. Prakriti through Mahamaya gives us all kinds of experience. It is up to us how to react to it, how to proceed our journey from unreal, from those painful and sorrowful and unhappy experiences to the blissful experience of attaining, becoming one with the Satchidananda, becoming one with the Purusha, becoming one with the Lord. Like Sri Krishna told us, Mad bhavat upapadyate, they come and reach me. All the bhaktas who follow the path of knowledge that I have shown to them, who grasp that path of knowledge, who assimilate the knowledge that I have shared with them, they try to remain away from the unreal and proceed towards what is real. So that is the purpose of Prakriti in creating all this magic, in all this play. Prakriti is the foster mother leading the Jivatman from unreal to the real, from ignorance to enlightenment, and from death to immortality. That is the purpose of Prakriti, showing us all these, giving us all these experiences. So that was what Sri Krishna has told us again in this particular 28th shloka, the relationship between this body and the Kshetradnya. The relationship between how this body comes out because of the Prakriti, how Prakriti gets projected by the Purusha, and why Purusha has created Prakriti and all this, the play field, to have enjoy, to experience the pleasure and pain through all of us. And then, when this enlightenment comes to us, that it is not the pleasure that we are seeking, it is not the pain that we are seeking the good. And when this transformation happens from preyas to shreyas, from experiencing the pleasure and pain, that is what the preyas is, from there to enjoying the absolute Satchidananda, that is the shreyas, that is the good. And this is the entire reason for Purusha projecting into Prakriti and creating all this nonsense for that matter. And let us see what Sri Ramakrishna can teach us on this. Sri Ramakrishna says, plenitudes and blessings such as the Brahma Jnana and the bliss of Brahman come to us mortals because of the gracious mediation of the Mahamaya. It is the Mahamaya, ultimately, the Mahamaya aspect of the Prakriti, which takes us away from the unreality. She has created that veil, and it is again the Mahamaya who removes that veil and takes us from unreal to the real. But for her intervention, none can even peep into the beyond. If Mahamaya doesn't wish us to even think about the hereafter, if Mahamaya doesn't wish for us to even think about what lies beyond, it is impossible. We will keep on getting engaged ourselves just in this rigmarole of life and death and life and death and life and death. But for her intervention, none can even peep into the beyond, what to speak of getting fixed into absolute. You can't even think of, getting that nirvana, getting in that ultimate stage of becoming one with the Lord. We just cannot think if Mahamaya doesn't help us on that. Experience of the transitory world also comes to man because of her grace. It is all Prakriti, it is all Mahamaya who lands up on that, who takes us on that playfield to experience all those pleasurable and painful experiences of this transitory, of this ephemeral world. The enjoyer and the enjoyment do not exist out of her domain. Now, this Mahamaya born out of Prakriti, Mahamaya, another aspect of the Prakriti herself, she is making us play this entire game. And who is the ultimate benefactor? The ultimate benefactor is the Purusha, who wants to experience all these things. Otherwise, how can Purusha experience? Purusha is Nirguna, Purusha is Nirakara. Purusha has nothing to do with all these, good and bad, the holy and sinful activities, the pure and the impure. The Purusha is not bothered with this, but since Purusha projects Prakriti, Prakriti produces, Prakriti causes this body and senses to come into effect, and the Mahamaya starts her play. Then this is the entire experience of enjoying this world in the form of pleasure and pain. Having all those good and bad experiences through the body and the senses, then Purusha starts experiencing it through us. But the ultimate objective, the ultimate goal of that Purusha has set is to go beyond this and become one with the Purusha, like the Purusha himself is beyond all those. So that was the 20th Shloka of Kshetra, Kshetradnya, Vibhag Yoga, the 13th Adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And in the next Shloka, Sri Krishna will tell us that in what manner is this Jivatman, the one who is confined in the restricted space of this body and senses, is educated by Prakriti. So that also, now Sri Krishna is going to answer it. Now it is not that this Jivatman is permanently imprisoned in this. It is not that this Jivatman is permanently going to experience pleasure and pain. So how Prakriti also helps that Jivatman to cross over, That Krishna will tell us in the next shloka. Till then, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Rama Krishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami Ji.